said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, tight and birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position. You can live it if you have some things in the air. If you got game, waving like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no fit, and you got game. If you came in the way, you got game.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Local Music Somewhere. I'm your host, Greasy Keys, in the R-Beat studio. Thrilled to have today True Optimist, which is a group kind of centered around Evan and Susan Plante. Welcome to the studio, guys. Thrilled to have you in the R-Beat studio today, man.
Thanks for having us. Awesome.
Thrilled. We've had a great time already before the podcast kind of gets started, just talking and kind of getting to know each other. You guys have been a part of the music scene here in Charlotte for 20 plus years, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I've never had much interaction, but man, I'm just thrilled to have you guys here to really kind of get to know each other and to share your music and to help promote what you guys got going on. So
fantastic. Thanks for having us. Cool.
So give us a little bit of background, with history in Charlotte necessarily, and, kind of where your roots are at.
Sure. True Optimist is a project that kind of revolves around me and whoever I can kind of get to work with me at the time.
Nice.
Susan and I are both musicians. We both play in a lot of bands. We've played side by side here, off and on, little things here and there, but never actually had a project together.
Right.
We've kind of kept our projects separate, but it seems more and more we're kind of like starting to align with what we want to be doing musically. Right. We're starting to like grow as musicians. And so even though I have 8-9 people sometimes that are a part of the True Optimist band, the True Optimist band's called Parlor Palms, same as the record.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's just like Susan and I making music kind of comfortably in a comfortable place together with comfortable intentions and, exploring things about our musical kind of journey that we really haven't been able to explore within the confines of saying, you're in a band with a bunch of people and you go like, hey man, I want to play like this Latin inspired thing. And it's like, well, we're a punk band. Right. We can't really do that. The True Optimist stuff is just kind of like the gates are wide open for things you want to explore. You get inspired by something and you just was, oh man, like there's this weird Steelers Wheel song. It's got this weird little bleepy poopy kind of thing, and I really want to do something like that.
How do you bring exactly the song you're talking about?
How do you bring that up to like a bunch of other punk musicians or like kind of a rock band, in a setting? So the True Optimist project is really me exploring a lot of things that I haven't given myself permission to explore over my 20 years of playing in bands.
Right. So do you see it as, you're the songwriter and you sort of bring ideas in and then you allow the other artists to sort of interpret those things?
Yeah,
do you find yourself bringing in like, these are the specific ideas I'm looking for. I need someone else to execute them.
Well, I would answer that question as if there's one answer to it.
Yeah.
But, the thing is always evolving. It's at first I thought I was just writing music just for myself and I wasn't really involving anybody else. Because when you share writing with other people, you get their influences, and that can mean sometimes that the things that you want to achieve maybe are overshadowed or, kind of you don't really execute on them the same way that you would do if you had full control. And full control in a band is, like you don't really get that. When you have a band, it's a group of people and you're the sum of that. You're part of that kind of equation. So when True Optimist kind of presented itself as a studio project for just me, I thought, I'm going to keep it real close. I'm going to make sure that I achieve the things that I want to achieve for myself, But then I made a record that was that way, and when it was done, I didn't have anybody to share it with. It wasn't like there was a cumulative effect where we were all proud of something. I was done with it, and then I was like I felt like I was on an island with it by myself.
Yeah.
So this Parlor Palms album was me kind of realizing, oh, there's limitations to how I can make music. I'm not the best singer. I can't hit these notes. I can't play these parts. I don't know how to play a saxophone.
Yeah.
So like,
right.
My saxophone player is this guy named Brent, and he plays in Ghost Trees,
Yes.
And I got to say that Brent was an enormous kind of part of saying, like, I believe in like what you're doing here, and whatever. Anytime you call me, I'll show up and I'll come in and I'll play. And Susan, same, she made herself available to playing these things. Hey, man, can you come in and play this like Rhodes part? I don't know how to do that. Can you just like play along with this and just be yourself?
Right.
So in the beginning, it was a very kind of like introverted me project. Parlor Palms opened it up to me and the band, all 8 of them, all the people who can do. And there was more than 8 people, I think there's about 11 different guests on Parlor Palms.
Wow.
All kinds of people from all kinds of great Charlotte bands.
Yeah.
Bravo Pueblo, I stole every single one of Bravo Pueblo's members. Individually, I brought them all in because, I think they're just the best band in Charlotte. They're just so cool. Their approach to music is so similar, in line to what I want to be doing.
Right.
And just like tons and tons of people that I know, like, oh, this guy, he can really wail on this guitar solo. He's going to come in and play this 30-second segment.
Right.
And so, to answer your question, it was like a singular thing, and then it was a very group thing. But the configuration of the music allows it to be done with 1 piece or 2 pieces or 8 pieces or 10 pieces or 5 pieces.
It always kind of evolving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it needs to be that way.
Yeah.
Especially like if I'm trying to like present a musical kind of project to our city, our scene, you don't want to see the same thing over and over. Come to Sunk Harbor and see us do exactly what we did last week. Maybe we won't play for 4 months, and when we show up, we'll show up with 25 people.
Right.
And then maybe we won't play for 4 months, and we'll show up with 1. And you'll always get a different kind of approach.
I love your point about, making a record all by yourself. And then, who do you have to really sort of celebrate that with?
Exactly.
Once it's released.
It was.
Wow.
When I understood that was happening, it was a lot to process. Like you feel like maybe you don't need someone. You don't need help. You don't need community. You don't need bandmates. But then you realize, like, oh, emotionally, I do. I thought I didn't, but I do. I do need to connect with people. Mm-hmm. Especially as an introvert who's making introverted music. This is very introverted music. Making introverted music by myself in a dark room, and then knowing like, oh, I got to take this out into public.
Right.
There's a big conflict inside of me of trying to figure out how introverted or how extroverted this music can be.
Right. And so Parlor Palms is your second album as True Optimist, and you have 20 tracks on there. So tell us about that process of, when did you start recording and when did you decide this was enough?
Yeah. So it was 20 songs that happened in a year.
Right.
It's just what happened in the year of 2024.
Wow.
And so it's really interesting to me because I don't know how much I can ask people to go and listen to an hour's worth of music, but if you listen to an hour's worth, this hour-long record, if you listen to it, you can see what I went through personally, lyrically, musical journey-wise, influentially. We went on a trip. My best friend lives in Italy, and so we go over and we visit with him. We spend 2 weeks in Italy. We spent 2 weeks in the south of Spain in 2024, and I stood on the edge of the Strait of Gibraltar on a cliff, and I could see the shore of Africa. I could see Morocco across the mountains of Morocco. But you don't know that, like, you look at you say, I'm going to look at Africa. And you go, well, there's snow there. There's snow on top of those mountains. And you don't really think like Africa, snow, mountains. But like, just the eye-opening kind of realization that like you can stand and see another continent. It was like, made me feel really small, made me understand like, oh, people have been moving across this small body of water, migrating for millennia. People have been moving across and having these existences and these lives, and like, so there's a lot of talk about immigration. There's a lot of talk about like living full lives, and there's a lot of talk about capitalism, and there's a lot of talk about just the things that kind of 2024 presented me with. Oh, this is something that you don't know that you're going to write a song about immigration today, but by the time you're done, you go, oh wow, I didn't know like how much of an effect that was.
Right.
And so it's a year of me processing musically and emotionally the world that's happening around us.
Right.
It's a pretty deep record.
Yeah.
And it seems like, and I love this about about the format is lyrically, it almost seems like a stream of consciousness on these songs.
Very
Like
much.
you develop rhythm, you develop chords kind of supporting this, and then lyrically it's literally almost less of like, well, this is a bridge and this is the verse and this is the
Very
chorus.
much.
It's sort of like a stream of consciousness, and you have it harmonically sort of
Yeah.
delivered, and it's really brilliant stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to it. I hope
Yeah.
everybody takes the time to actually kind of process it.
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask. Like I said, songs can be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but the record is an hour, and so that's a lot to ask someone. I always tell people, put this record on and do your dishes. At the end of the night, that's when you're coziest.
Yeah.
Is like, you're doing a task that you have to do. You have to clean your dishes after you have dinner or whatever, but like, I put on Marvin Gaye, I put on, whatever it is that like kind of inspires me, and I listen to that, and I do the dishes, and I have a good time with it.
Right.
And, I just hope that people will do that with my record, I guess.
And it sounds to me like, like I said, there's a lot of content there, but at the same time, there's a theme
Yeah.
musically, rhythmically, that you probably sit down and listen to this album, even if it is in the background, and help create a mood. And it stays pretty consistent throughout.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I kind of like, while I was making it, I was just not throwing any ideas away. I just
Right.
thought like, I don't know, like kind of, I went through this period where I just kind of went into the Wings catalog,
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, just in general, that dude just like writes songs. Like, he just doesn't really care. It's
Really?
not that he doesn't care, but he just like, he doesn't
let his
just-
ego get in the way.
yeah, it's just
Right.
like the song just
Yeah.
has to happen, and it happens through him. And so you were mentioning that there seems like there's a stream of consciousness in the record, and absolutely, like the music and the lyrics, it just feels like they're floating around me.
Yeah.
And if I can just reach out and grab one,
Right.
then I can be a conduit for whatever it is that musically needs to happen or lyrically needs to happen. And the stream of consciousness of the lyric writing is just, it's amazing when it happens, because even to me, I don't know how it's happening. I don't think I'm doing it. I think it's happening through me.
Right.
That Tom Waits quote.
Right.
He talks about that. Yeah.
And I feel that with every single song on this record. That's why they all made it onto the record. I didn't know it was going to be 20. I didn't know it was going to be an hour long. I just didn't really like forsake any sort of thought that I had about them, and just let them kind of ride out.
Right.
And to the point where they kind of got massaged into place. Some of them maybe didn't even have like a great context, like it wasn't like there was a great hook or anything yet. But that's when, you invite someone in, you go like, hey, I think like if you play whatever it is your instrument is on this, I think you're going to find that center stream. Lee Herrera from
Bravo Pueblo.
from Bravo Pueblo and Harvard and all those bands,
Yeah.
he's a good friend of mine, and we were playing in some other bands and stuff. I said, hey, Lee, come over and just like show up one night and just be you. And I had this song. It ended up being the song Be Something Real. It's on the record. And I think it's my favorite song on the record. I say every song is my favorite song on the
Right.
record. And I'm going to say that probably forever and ever. But that's probably my favorite song, because I didn't know what it was until Lee showed up. And then he had this moment where he was just sitting on my couch. He was playing guitar, and I just was miking him up. I had some headphones on. Just be you.
Yeah.
And he starts playing this kind of like little stuff, and he goes, oh, it's a samba, or whatever he said it was. And then he starts playing, and I was like, that's great, whatever. And his part kind of moved that song into the next phase. And when he left the next day, the lyric just, if you wanna be something real. It was like, oh, that was there. I needed Lee to kind of flip this little switch.
Yes.
And then the whole rest of the song kind of unfolded. So
That's a great point that you make. As far as songwriting approaches, I know a lot of musicians, we get in our own heads, and this is, you play something, that's a stupid idea, and just totally just throw it away.
Yeah.
Whereas like you allow it to grow and to develop, and allow other folks to help influence it. That's a really brilliant idea and approach.
Thanks.
To songwriting, and not allowing yourself to be your own worst critic.
I feel like there's a reward.
Yeah.
We should be doing this for reward.
Right.
We're certainly not making any money, and
Right.
we're certainly not, becoming rock stars anytime soon. But like the reward of doing this is that you create something, and when you're done, there's tons of songs that I would listen to the playback after I felt like it was massaged into the right place.
Right.
And I would, walk around, kind of like pace around the room and listen to the playback. And then when it was over, I just kind of shake my head and laugh like, how did I do that? How did that happen?
Yes, especially if you take time, you step away, and come back.
Yeah, like how do I sound like that?
Right.
I think the first time like I kind of found my singing voice, it was like, oh, am I supposed to sound like Smokey Robinson? Am I supposed to do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what happened.
You sounded like Smokey Robinson. That is a wow.
That's like a way of kind of
I'm allowed to say that.
It's just a way of kind of like conveying your personal voice.
Sure,
you have to make
absolutely.
a choice. Like
Absolutely.
David Bowie would make a choice. He would always kind of was going to be, oh, there's however you're going to like kind of do the implication of
Yes.
the thing, the character that you're going to take on at that moment, and then
Right.
you have to like look back at that character and go like, am I willing to be that character today? But then you let that character kind of like exist for a little while, and then you end up with a record that has 20 different kind of like things that you've tried, and you feel like, oh, they don't really have a lot in common with each other, maybe, or maybe
Right.
this one's kind of too silly, or maybe this one's too serious. But then in the context of like, that's just what happened. That's what happened in the year 2024 when I was making the record.
Right.
And so I've spent this whole entire year kind of took a little while to get it mastered, took a little while to roll it out. I did everything I could do to try to get as many people to hear it. Got some really cool opportunities this year, and this is
Fantastic.
another one. It's
Yeah.
like, you guys go listen to this record. It's something else.
It is. It really is amazing.
Thank you.
And speaking of like 1 minute, 2 minute songs, maybe you can throw
Love
us
to.
the one down right now, huh?
I'd love to. You want to play this one first? Actually, all right. So we're Susan and I are here today with two kind of Spanish classical guitars.
Yes, you are. Those are beautiful, by the way.
This was a pivot for us because we needed to figure out how we were going to bring studio songs out into the world.
Yes.
And bringing all these songs out into the world, there was, 8 people, extra percussion, multiple guitars, saxophone, all these harmonies, 6 different singers. You feel like, well, that's not possible all the time. So how can we strip this down into something that's kind of in a doable kind of thing? And so we bought nylon string guitars and started kind of approaching the songs with that. And so I didn't know how to play a nylon string guitar. I didn't know how to play anything that was remotely kind of in this Brazilian kind of like Latin-y kind of way of playing. So the first song I wrote, I'm gonna play this one because it was the first song I wrote on this style guitar, and it was, can I even play this style guitar and play? Oh, wanna kiss you. Oh, wanna kiss you. Oh, you're the only one when I kiss you. Oh, really miss you. Oh, really miss you. Oh, you're the only one when I kiss you. Oh, you're the only one. If I forget to tell you, well, never could forget you forever in a moment in time. You're mine. Oh, you're the only one. Oh, you're the only one.
Fantastic. And so that was the song that you
That
wrote.
was me saying, like, how do you play in this style? How do
Yeah.
you play this style of guitar? How do you... A really big influence, kind of post-Parlor Palms, during Parlor Palms for sure, but like, is this Brazilian musician named Jorge Ben.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Jorge Ben?
No.
It's like kind of created early bossa nova samba,
Right.
you know? He played just... And it was really him that kind of like inspired me to buy these guitars and figure out how to like... And give myself the permission to sing the lyric like... I want to kiss you. You know,
Yes.
it's like, that takes a lot of
Mucho.
confidence. You got to like really you gotta sell
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
But it kind of lends itself to like what was being said before. Like the whole point of creating is kind of play, you know? And I do think as songwriters and musicians, it's really easy to get in your head and let your ego get in the way and be like, I don't know about
100%.
this. And I think
Yes.
it's really cool that you don't do that.
It's pretty
That's
funny when
confidence.
When
Absolutely.
we do play that one live with the full band, but the whole band kind of like takes a knee, and that's a very strange feeling to be like, you guys just wait. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah.
And then to stand up in front of a room and kind of play, let your emotions just kind of like happen. You know, I'm not an extroverted person. It's not something that I'm signing up to do, but at the same time, when you start to do it, it just is happening. You know, it's
Right.
just happening.
It is happening.
And then people respond to it. We'll play another one for you to hear. I've made the room cry. You know, like when we finish a song and then you can see people are crying, and you go like, I think we're onto something here.
right.
You know?
You've definitely hit a nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people has hugged us after playing. You want to hear this one real quick?
Let's go.
Cool. So we're going to play a little different version of it. Initially, when I played it, it was real kind of, you know, real kind of like a melody box kind of. But we'll upbeat it a little bit.
All right. Sounds good.
It's a song about losing a pet. So, you know,
That's
you
usually
announce
makes
that
people
and then
cry.
That's a tough one.
when we're ready to go, when we've had such a long day, when you're tired and dirty, oh, bathe me in water before you go. Put me to bed, 'cause I don't know if I see you again. Oh, bathe me in water. Oh, tell all your friends. Oh, bathe me in water. Oh, tell all your friends.
Tripped me up on there on purpose.
Sorry, buddy.
Did that on purpose.
Hey, no one would have known. No one knows. It sounds great.
We know.
You know.
These are kind of like 1 minute kind of, we call them
Absolutely.
front porch songs.
Yes.
You just find yourself sitting on your front porch and you go, oh, there's that one, I'll grab that one.
Yeah.
And then you kind of listen, think about it, and you go, should it be longer than a minute? Well, if you're doing what you need to do in a minute,
Right.
you know, and we're also living in a really fast-paced world, and asking people to give 3 minutes for an idea, maybe one is more reasonable.
You're lucky. You're lucky if they watch more than 9 seconds.
That's right, I
That's
know.
right, so
You got to get to the hook right away.
that's amazing stuff. So you debuted the 8-piece band at Hopscotch. Is
Yeah.
that correct? The music festival is amazing.
Yeah.
So when you're at a festival like that, when you got a group of powerful musicians, what happens backstage that maybe impacts the performance or maybe changes everything?
Yeah, that's a great question, because that's something that I'm working on.
Yeah.
You know, there's an energy that's you have to have. It exists within the live context.
Yes.
Whether or not you get a green room or you're milling around in the crowd can also make a big difference, because
100%.
you know, we find ourselves going and playing shows, and then people show up and they're like, "Hey, I'm so excited to see you," and you want to say to everybody, "Thank you so much for showing up. You know, I know you really got out of your way to be here, but at the same time, you're so far in your head,
Yeah.
and you've got to like be in such a place in order to actually do the thing and really, you know, embody what you're trying to do." So, you know, the Hopscotch show was unbelievable. It was at King's. It was sold out. It was full. There was so many people that I hid in the green room. I just hid backstage.
There was a lot of us backstage though. 'Cause
There
it
was.
was the 8-piece and then the
Nathan
Yeah.
Matthews did the Julius Stay On It performance, and he had 20 people.
Wow.
And then there was this great band called Chicha Libre,
Amazing.
kind of Latin, kind of New York band that was really great because they influenced how we were writing music. Actually, on the first record, the first single from the first record was kind of influenced by this band that we got to play our first show with.
Amazing.
I felt like when we got asked to play that, the question was, can you bring the whole band, you know? And I, of course, said yes.
Before you.
And then like, after I said yes, I had a complete meltdown, panic attack because, it was like, are you sure? Did you ask the band? Yes, I did. And then I didn't. But, I one by one asked them, and they, of course, said, yeah, of course, we got to do that.
So you were able to get everyone that recorded on the album to play live together?
Pretty close.
Oh,
Pretty
right.
close.
Yeah.
We could have brought in 11 or 12.
Right.
The one person who said that we asked her if she would do it, and she bowed out was Madison Lucas from Modern Moxie.
Oh, yeah?
She came in and sang some vocal stuff on the record. And then she mentioned, hey, I also play trumpet. If you can use me to play trumpet. And I said, Madison, I will find a song and I'll write a part if you'll remember how to play trumpet for this record. And she did it. And then when we asked her, oh, will you come do this live? She said, oh, no, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But the question was just kind of like the energy of preparing yourself to play live with that many people. It was chaotic, but I really tried very, very hard to make sure that I was in the right kind of introverted space that I needed to be in. And that's something I had never, ever done before. I had always kind of, I've toured the States and Europe in bands before. I've done hundreds of shows. I've played hundreds and hundreds of shows. But this is the first time that I felt like, I need to kind of be introverted. I need to be singular. I need to not just pretend that I've been here 1,000 times before, but I actually need to like give myself nurture my inner self to make sure that I'm going up and doing this with the right intentions.
Right.
And not just phoning it in and not just trying to like impress the crowd, but actually trying to impress myself and letting that convey to the crowd. And Susan plays in this other band called Secret Guest. And they got this really unbelievable opportunity in the month of June to open for Band of Horses
Fantastic.
for about 3 or 4 weeks straight.
Wow.
And so I got to kind of glom on to that situation and see what that looked like. And I watched.
You were the band spouse that week.
Exactly. And I watched, professional musicians and how they handle themselves, how they prepare before it's time to go out and play for 2,000-3,000 people who have all paid to see them.
Yes.
They kind of walk around in the back area with a guitar on, just strumming, kind of like trying to be mindless and trying to get yourself in a good spot. I watched Ben, the lead singer, kind of the way he conveyed himself as a person, going up and then doing that thing and coming back and being frantic about the whole thing. And I thought, I need to take some notes from these professionals.
Right.
Like these guys, how they carry themselves, how they hold their emotions before, how they keep their emotions in check, making sure that they're like, being professional, because when you're a professional band, and people have spent $50, $60, $70 on a ticket, you've got to be professional. You've got to make sure that you know your songs and you've got to convey them the right way, do them the right way.
Right.
So I took some notes just watching these people do that thing, and when I realized like, oh my God, we're going to go do this hopscotch thing for a sold out crowd, and the first time we've ever playing this, a little bit of panic attack, and actually went outside and sat in a parked car and played an acoustic guitar by myself for about 20 minutes and just tried to get myself back into a good centered spot.
Trying to calm yourself.
Came back inside and the band was like, where were you? I just disappeared into a parked car out parking in the street.
As one does.
Because even, like the green room is one thing, but the green room is full of all the other bands. And
there's a lot of energy going on.
Yeah, and I just needed
that.
to kind of recenter. A lot of this music is about comfort and centering.
Yes.
And if it's not centered, then I'm not doing it the right way.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of recentering, we're going to take a quick break.
Great.
We're going to hear from our sponsors and get right back in it with Evan and Susan Plante of True Optimist. Hey, this is Greasy Keys with Our Beats. We'll be right back with some more local music somewhere in just a bit.
Our Beats bangers. and Charlotte moves the world. From underground streets to global peaks, indie to the planet. This is where your heartbeat meets the bass. Watch list, watch list. Turn it up! Feel the hit! Charlotte to the world, yeah, we break that grit. Run it, our beats coming through. Let the world hear you.
Invader Sudan, die spits on cue. Victor Ray, Randy Franklin, we see you. Charlotte rising, global view. This is the watch list.
Powered by our beats.com. Break on through. Bangers. Welcome to our beats.
Hey there, welcome to the Watch List presented by DJ World Beats, hosted by me, Greasy Keys, in the R Beats VIP suite. We bring you the best of the best, live shows, streaming trends, and indie pop and much more. You can stream now on the all-new ROQ Radio on rbeats.com, highlighting indie artists from all over the world, focusing now on hashtag local music somewhere, hashtag Charlotte. This month, we have artists that have earned cross-pollination into more than one stream, and we are proud to announce all of these streams that our favorite artists have dropped on. Check it out, right here on the R Beats Radio Global Boutique Streaming and Media Network. Now, let's celebrate these incredible artists. Kicking it off with Invader Houses with their song, Moon is Bright. Demigod Swerve featuring Kashmir the Jedi with Addiction. Randy Franklin and the Sardines with Heard It on the AM. Late Night Special with It's My City. The Sammys with Fish Out of Water. Time Sawyer with Appalachian Bound Live. Max Hightower with I Ain't Lying. Justin Clyde Williams with Thankful. Sudan Archives with Come and Find You. Di Spitz with Riding With My Girls. Victor Ray with Contagious. Frost Children with Radio. And Oj Stan with Holy, I Am Your Temple, and Your Love. This has been Greasy Keys in the R Beats VIP Suite. Be sure to check out all of these amazing artists and be on the lookout for the next edition of the Watch List presented by rbeats.com. Watch this on the Watch List. Peace. Oh, that was funny. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, check out all those incredible artists on the Watch List. And I really appreciate everyone that submits their songs there. And we want to continue to uplift and promote all these fantastic artists through rbeats.com. Thank you so much. Greasy Keys, I am in the RB studio with True Optimist, Evan Plante, and his wife, Susan. Thank you guys so much for coming back in.
Yeah.
And you performed a couple of songs for us off the album, or those weren't on the album.
No,
actually.
those weren't on the album.
So I love it.
Those are what we call front porch songs.
Front porch songs. Those are fantastic ideas. But you did want to bring up the point how a lot of your songs sort of have an interplay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of. I kind of think that maybe someday I should make a bingo card.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you find the song that uses a Talking Heads riff? Can you find the Clash reference? Can you find the synthesizer from Moving in Stereo by the Cars?
Nice.
It's kind of like
Orleans song in there.
yeah. There's a
really?
Orleans. Yeah, Dance with Me.
Oh, yeah.
You know that song?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's the only
so-
Orleans song I know.
I think it's like the only Orleans song. You know, you say Orleans and most people do not know what you're talking
Right, yeah.
about.
I mean, New Orleans? No, Orleans.
It's
There's
a great
a-
song.
It is a great song.
There's a lyric in it's like a Ghetto Boys lyric, it's like a 90s rap song, and it's used, kind of. There's sometimes when you kind of try an idea and you go like, well, maybe I'll come up with something different someday, and you go, wow, that's what it is.
Is that written all over your face?
It's now I drive a big car. Everybody know me. Lisa Ortiz from Bravo Pueblo gets to sing that line, and I'm not sure that she even knows the lyric or
Right.
anything like that. But
Yeah.
I had written it, and so we have this song called "Nothing But a Slogan" that Lisa sings, and it's about immigration. It's about
Right.
like how do you write a song that speaks about how people people move around in the world, how people have been moving around in the world for millennium. They've been migrating and moving from place to place to place. And like, is it my job to be singing a song about immigration, especially as we're going through, you know, the kind of environment they're going through right now?
Yeah.
And so it's really great that I had done kind of a dry vocal take on it. And then I said, I think Lisa can sing this song. And Lisa shows up with
Her
this,
voice.
just her voice is just
Amazing.
I mean, it's just so signature.
Right.
And the fact that she agreed to be on the record and then became such a big part of like putting the band together. Her brother Claudio ended up coming and playing at our last show with us. He played congas and everything, and it's like, so I have a brother and sister. And there's a song called Brothers and Sisters on the record, and I said to both of them, like, how great is it that we're gonna like perform with a brother and sister, husband and wife duo, and we're gonna play a song called Brothers and Sisters. You know, it's just it's a little too perfect.
Serendipity, I love it. So again, we're talking about the band, your live performances. It ranges from 2 to 8, or even 11 to 12 if we're lucky. Picked from Charlotte's best bands. But which is more stressful, a 2-person performance or 8-person?
Oh, 8
8%.
Yeah,
100%.
and it's not like they're
Especially when you're like the middle band and you get thrown on and you get a line check and you're like, this is going to be something different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's a lot of pieces.
And you know, asking 8 people to come in, show up for band practice and to rehearse and like once a week. And you have like limited time because we're all grown-ups, we're all adults, we all have to work jobs. And it's so for a little while I daydreamed about like, oh well, I'll just like have a lazy Sunday practice. It's not happening. We can show up and we got about an hour and a half on a Wednesday night once in a while to try to
2 days before the show.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
Exactly.
I know that.
Yeah, but the reward of actually kind of like doing it and having that many pieces kind of slot in. A lot of these songs are built layers. They're, you know, like the bass just is playing the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
And the drums are doing the same thing, and the secondary percussion is making the song kind of have this rocking motion. But unless you have all those places, all those things, all those loops put in their slot in the right place, you have to teach every single musician, like, this is your slot, you need to stay in this slot.
Right.
And when we're all doing all 5 of these things all at once, that's when the song actually shows up. The song doesn't necessarily show up. The Parlor Palms songs don't necessarily show up individual because they're so, you know, layered.
Right.
But the new songs, as the 2-piece or a 1-piece or whatever, you know, we're starting to kind of like, okay, so we explored what 10 things can do. What can we explore? We can get done with 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And really focusing on trying to like write hooky lyrics, you know, kind of a really good vocal, you know, singular vocal kind of, rather than 10 different things all at once.
So what would you say would be the biggest mistake in doing that, in hiring,
bringing in 10 different people?
Yeah.
Just the idea that like you can get everybody to understand the lane that they need to be in. Like it's a personal thing.
Sure.
You know, like if I played all 10 of the things, then I'm trying to teach someone like play really, really behind the beat. I have this tendency to like, one time I got a review of the first record and it said, it's not quite reggae. And I was like, wait a minute, it's not reggae at all, is it? Well, is it? And then I realized like, oh, you know, I do have this tendency to play things on the 2, to play things behind the beat, to try to like open the pocket so wide that when you come in so far on the back of the beat that like, and then trying to convey that to other musicians, like, all right, you're gonna want to play on the 1, but you gotta think exactly how my brain works.
Right.
That's hard to ask someone to understand.
Really
My
lock
musical
in.
journey over the last 20 years has been like really front-heavy, front-loaded punk stuff.
Right.
And then it's like, no. But at this point, we're going to come in on, you know, really, really funky kind of secondary kind of beats and stuff. But that's my journey, you know?
I love that. You mix bossa nova, jazz, Latin, Italian disco, dance pop, and you seem to be inspired by the sound of the years 1981 to 1983. You were kind of quoted. So what happened in those specific years that made the music so special to you?
Okay, so the way I figured that out is I work from home. I'm a graphic designer, so I'll put on Spotify, whatever, you know, like, and I will listen to only songs from 1960 for an entire day.
Wow.
And then the next day, only songs from 1961. only, the next day, only 62. And so I started from 1960 and went all the way up to the 2000s.
Yeah.
And when I was done with that, over the course of, it took 30, 40 days or something,
Dedication.
I realized, oh, I really, really, really like a lot of these songs from, seems like 1980 to 1983. And I wasn't quite sure exactly what it was. And so I've started to kind of uncover, okay, so you have punk kind of turning into, post-punk, new wave.
Yeah, right.
You also have the influence of reggae starting to show up in like rock bands.
Synthesizers.
Synthesizers.
Oh, right.
People were starting
Yeah.
to be like, synthesizers had been around, but they were starting to like kind of put them into pop music.
Yeah.
But they still didn't quite know how to get them to sound real big and produced. Like, it wasn't until like 1984, and
Right.
you got like Born to Run, you got this big synthesizer sound. It was 80, 81, 82. It was kind of in its infancy, which
Right.
worked really good for me because my approach with this is really like, I like underproduced sounding music. I came from a punk kind of background. I like things to sound really, like you could hear that it's made by
Real.
people. It
Yeah.
sounds very
Right.
real.
Me too. I
And-
love that. People ask me that. And my favorite era in the 70s, 80s, because number one, it's still played by real people.
Yeah.
Yep, and
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
not
it's that
everything-
reel to reel as
Yeah,
well. I feel
in the
like
reel to reel,
makes
yeah.
that
There's a looseness,
Right.
I've always kind of hoped that this band would be thought of as a jazz band to me. Like initially when we started playing these True Optimist songs, we were playing them as like this kind of combo, Susan and I, where I was playing drums and she was playing piano, just in our house. We weren't really recording so much, but it was kind of like a Vince Guaraldi kind of like combo jazz thing.
Yes.
And it was more so about her and I learning how we were going to just anticipate each other in that jazz sensibility kind of way. And then, these songs kind of turned into projects where it's like, I'm going to work on this group of them and they're going to be the True Optimist songs. She has a whole batch of songs, left over from the early stuff. And it's like, there's a lot of
So
music.
they're still sitting there. Okay, I'll get
We're
on
going to get around
it.
to that for sure.
But, just kind of like making the songs kind of live as like maybe a tune, a template. And it's not so much about make sure you hit all the turns, make sure you know the riff. You don't need to know
Right.
the riff. You just need to like kind of create the thing and then live inside that together for 5 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever.
It's always the quirks in recordings or even live performances that make me love it more. The parts
Absolutely.
that aren't necessarily right, but it's like,
That's the magic.
that's it. Yeah.
real.
I agree 100%.
Very real,
Yes, that's so cool. So you've been in Charlotte music scene in multiple bands across decades.
Yeah.
What's changed about Charlotte that's maybe making it harder for newer bands?
I think there's so much going on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people's attention, availability in our personal lives and all of our lives is just, we're inundated by things to think about. There's just an endless kind of avalanche of things that we have to deal with in our day-to-day lives now. And I don't know if that's something that I'm noticing just because I'm getting older. Maybe when I was younger, I had less to deal with or whatever, but like I do feel like it's happening all around us. And it's not just Charlotte. I think it's just, you have so many choices between ways to fill up your life, whether or not you need to look at the news 24/7 or check in on your own social media or whatever it is. So like asking anybody to participate in coming to a show and feeling like, what time are you guys going to start? Because I'm pretty busy kind of type of
Right.
situation. It's
Yeah.
So, that's another thing that we're
And I
trying
think
to
it's everyone, it's
absolutely.
myself included.
And
It
it's
is
not
that.
just Charlotte. It's like it's worldwide. I would have to think we're presented with so much stuff to deal with, which I think is kind of why I keep describing this record as a comfort record, is because I know you got a lot to deal with. I know you have 100 things to think about, and I'm very low on your list. This record is very low on your list. But when you need to calm down, when you need to like settle down, when you're comfortable, when you find comfort, or when you're looking for comfort, this is the record for that.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
Very cool. Very cool. What's one thing you've learned from all those bands?
Playing in all those
That
bands.
maybe most musicians don't figure out. Maybe-
Oh,
I think realistically, the answer to that question is what we were talking about before, is that you do need a fraternity, a brotherhood.
A brotherhood,
you know?
yeah.
Maybe not fraternity because it can, like, you know.
Yeah.
I know what you
Hey.
mean. Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Right.
It's when you pile yourself into a van and you drive out into the hinterland in the hopes that people will even care that you're doing it, and you have no guarantees that it's even going to make a difference or you're even going to make it back. You know, people tell war stories like they've gone off and done that. Well, I don't want to take a gun. I want to take a guitar.
There you
know?
go. Yeah, that's so true. And I've heard stories of, you know, and I've experienced it too. You know, you go out on the road, like I said, you're kind of living in the van, and you're on a set schedule, you know, making, you know, call times and things like that, and you go through all that, and then you kind of come home and you're not there anymore, and it's like
Get the after tour depression.
Yes, after tour depression. It's a legit thing. It's like you sort of find yourself sort of
Yeah.
fiddling around. It's like, what? Okay, now what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to figure out what the next thing you're going to do. And I think we're in the phase of the Parlor Palms project now, where we're like, the record has come out, we've promoted it, we've played some really fun shows.
Yeah.
We do have a good working band. We have ways to do these songs in small formats and large formats. And I'm trying to figure out at this point, okay, so now what? You know,
Right.
I can't just make another record. That's why, you know, the Front Porch songs started to happen because Josh, who runs Self-Aware Records,
Yes.
and really has been kind of like coaching me through how to roll out a record. He's handled a lot of the important stuff for me. I really appreciate him so much.
Love Josh.
And his wife,
Great.
Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah is in the Parlor
Sarah's
Palms
the best
band.
person in the whole wide world.
There you go. Yeah,
So
they're
Susan and Sarah
fantastic.
in another band together,
Yes.
but they're both in the Parlor Palms band, and Sarah's on the record. And, you know, Josh said to me, you got to promote this record. You can't just, you know, keep making another record. When I started making Parlor Palms, we were in the process of promoting the first record, Mental Health. And it just felt like that took forever to roll out a record. It takes so long to roll out a record successfully and get any sort of attention for it.
Right.
And if it takes a month or 2 or 6, I'm writing songs in that time. And Josh was just like, you can't just make another record. You can't just go back in the studio and start working on the next thing and forget about how important this record is. So just sit on your porch and play guitar for yourself, and don't be recording it, and don't be thinking about the next thing that you're going to do with it. And so I've spent all of 24 was me writing Parlor Palms. All of 25 is me promoting Parlor Palms.
Yeah.
But I'm also sitting on a whole record's worth of Front Porch songs. And so the question is now like, well, what is the True Optimist project now that the big record is kind of out and we're promoting it, but what is the next phase of it? And I ask myself that every single day. And I think my answer right now that I've come up with is that, like, I would like to play in your parlor, you know? I want to play to 20 people in a very comfortable setting.
Yeah.
Rather than, we've played some big shows at some big venues on big stages with big sound systems, and this made the band much louder than I
Yeah.
think we need to be.
Right.
I think that the introverted nature of the music conveys in a certain way. We play certainly more upbeat songs and maybe more extroverted songs when we play with the big band and we play in a live setting with a full sound system. But I also really want to be playing these songs in an introverted way in a quiet living room to 20 people, you know, where we can all have a cumulative experience together.
Just have people over to our house.
There you go. House shows.
I've thought of that, and then I remind myself, I don't think I want people.
Yeah.
I'll come to your house. You have a parlor, you know.
Bring it to your place. I love it.
There was one time, I think Lisa maybe told us one time that she did maybe one of her sets, and she got to play at the Duke Mansion or something.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just like, oh, how do I get booked at the? You know, I don't need to play at a mansion, but if you have like a cool mid-century modern house and you want to have a fondue party, you know, let's do a jazz night.
I've played there several times, and that would be a wonderful location.
Yeah.
You know, I
Call me up.
I might get you in touch with someone
Please
over
do
there
that.
who.
I am
make
looking
that
for
happen.
kind of like some guidance for yourself. You know, like
Yeah.
you're a musician.
Yeah.
You've had an opportunity to play some places, and we've experimented. We've played at the Evening Muse, had a really great time because we decided to have everybody be sitting. I don't need everybody you don't need to stand up and gather around and cross your arms and come close. You're not going to start a mosh pit. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
I want you
You
to
could try.
I
I would kind of want to see that.
I want you to have a lazy boy. Bring your lazy boy.
No lazy boys.
of course,
No lazy
Susan.
boys. I'm out.
I want everybody to be comfortable so that I feel comfortable and so that we all feel comfortable and we can walk away, feeling like a little more calm.
Yes.
Because then you go back out into the world and it's just all going to go away.
Right.
Yeah, it's about that, less about let's get big.
Yes.
It's just
Let's feel comfortable together.
creative
Being
people have
comfortable
to
and
be
making connections.
creative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, can we get a couple more songs out of you guys before we
for
wrap
sure.
up today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
So we're going to play. This song is actually an interpolation of a Jorge Ben song. I mentioned it earlier, but he's a really big influence. Brazilian, first record came out in like 64. Kind of like he wrote Mas Que Nada, the oh, ay, ay.
Yeah.
He wrote that. Sergio Mendes covered his song. So he is like the beginning of Tropicalia, the beginning of like Bossa Nova. He's a very, very big influence in like how I'm processing the next phase of my musical journey is how do I translate myself as a drummer, as a percussionist, as a bass player, as a singer, as a guitar player,
Yes.
is on these, nylon string guitars. But the thing that I know is that I don't speak Portuguese and I sing along with these songs and I don't know the words that I'm singing. And when I look them up, I go, oh, that's not a song for me to be singing. These are not my lyrics.
Right.
So the only way that we could handle sitting on the front porch and playing Jorge Ben songs was to kind of like interpolate them into our own way. And so, here's a tribute to someone who really influences me. He's still alive. Call me up.
Let's go. I love it.
I'm gonna get the mood right. Won't somebody please turn down the temperature? Sick of the heat, I think it's gonna bury us. Getting to me, I live inside a barrier. Tropical heat always finds a way to bury us. Tropical heat, con malicia, it's getting to me. Con malicia, it's threatening me. Con malicia, tropical heat. Maybe then you will see you've got to find a different temperature. Hatred and greed may not be taking quite a holy. Take it from me, you come from the interior. Tropical heat always found a way to bury us. Tropical heat. Malicia, it's getting to me. Con malicia, it's threatening me. Con malicia, tropical heat. Don't let it bury us. It's getting to me. Con malicia, it's threatening me. Con malicia, tropical heat. Don't let it bury us.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So that con malicia, that's his line.
Yeah.
It means with malice.
With Malice.
And the rest of it is just kind of an interpolation. The lyrically, I'm taking cues from how he's singing it, but he's singing in a different language.
Yes.
There's another song, actually, I could probably play this one if we have time.
Let's go.
It's all sung in Japanese. It's by a Japanese band.
Okay.
And they're called Zazen Boys. They've been around since like the late '90s. The lead guy from this band was in a Japanese band called Number Girl that was like this kind of pop punk, kind of super chunky kind of type of thing. And then he started a band called Zazen Boys, and Zazen literally means like meditation. So they're this meditative
state.
Meditative state.
Oh, interesting.
So he has a 4-piece, and it's really kind of looping and rhythmic meditation, but sometimes it's like blast beats, and sometimes it's jam music, and sometimes it's dance music, and it's all these different things. And
One of the tightest bands I've ever seen.
It's, Japanese musicians just in general are so good.
Unreal.
So disciplined. Right?
Yeah.
When his discipline in that he's doing this thing called zazen, music, and sometimes it's really heavy and he's yelling and screaming, but it's still kind of in a meditative state. It's really influential to me because that's kind of what I'm trying to go for too. And he sings this whole entire song in Japanese, and it sounds entirely different than how I'm doing it. But I just was like, I'm starting to play these songs that are in a different language, so I might as well just try to do it.
All right, let's
So
hear
it's
it.
called Friday Night. Wet Kanashi girl, an insane red. Take me to the waterfront, take me to the very edge. Alone and trembling like me. Now stop on an idea, starting to feel like a Friday night. Friday night. Friday night, Friday night. Oh, is it something I did? Is it something I said? Take me to the waterfront, take me to the very edge. Stop on an idea, take me to the very edge. This is the waterfront, starting to feel like a Friday night. Friday night, Friday night, Friday night. Oh, Friday night. Oh, Friday night. Their song is very, very different than that.
So different.
That's incredible, though. Man, thank you guys so much for taking some time and coming to the RB Studio today and sharing a little bit of your story. And congratulations on your latest release, Parlor Palms, True Optimist. Obviously, the albums are open and available on iTunes. Everywhere, Spotify, all the streaming sites. You have physical copies out in the world at all?
No, we got to build an audience first.
Right, there you go.
Double LPs aren't cheap.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But any upcoming shows you'd like to announce?
No,
or-
I mean, next is trying to decide what we want to do with the project.
Right.
I think the next phase, the whole band still wants to continue to like do the big shows, and that's
Yeah.
fine. We'll do them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Don't expect that we won't kind of pound pavement like a normal local band because it's a big commitment for everybody to show up, 10 people doing the thing. But I'm really hoping that we can do intimate shows, you know.
Yeah,
so
let us play your living rooms.
There you go.
If you've got a situation where you want to have a bossa nova inspired husband and wife, show up, and if there's fondue, we'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
What about your other projects? Anything coming up, like shows or anything? Is this your primary focus right now?
You know, after this, I'm gonna get together with a friend, Dylan Gilbert.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna play drums with him this afternoon.
Fantastic.
And I'm doing that because I have a couple of my older bands are starting to get some kind of revival popularity, and one of them got asked to do a festival next year, and we're not sure that we can do it. So I need to play punk drums again.
There you go.
Make sure I can play fast enough. I was in this like metally grindcore band, and it's got like a discography coming out, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like
fantastic.
the things when you do things with your life, and then 20 years later, someone says it still matter. You know, you really gotta be very, very thankful.
Absolutely. That's the butterfly effect, they call it, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It makes all the days when you're making music kind of by yourself. You go, I think I'm okay at this.
Yes. I love that. Well, thank you guys again so much for coming in. Would love to have you back very soon, maybe sometime in 2026 to kind of follow back up and keep up with you guys, because I've just loved our conversation today and just scratching the surface of what you guys are doing. It's just amazing.
Fantastic.
And I love
Thank
your vision, and I love your creativity, and it inspires me. So that's really, really awesome. Thank you both for
thank
coming in.
you.
Thanks for saying that. I really
Fantastic.
appreciate that.
Hey, this is Greasy Keys. We're at the R Beat Studio with Local Music Somewhere. We've had True Optimist. Make sure to check them out. Download their songs on Spotify, iTunes, however you get your music. Check them out, because it is a beautiful record, and you'll enjoy every minute of it. So we'll catch you guys next time at R Beats. Peace.